Hi, this is Ladyfly, and you listen to Brutally Delicious podcast.
Hey, you are listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast. I am Bruce.
I'm drinking bleach, and I'm Chris.
Drinking bleach, that's beautiful.
Injecting disinfectant.
Right, 10 a.m. drinking bleach. Today we've got Tanya Volkova. I think I'm destroying that probably. She's from the Ukraine. I guess her fans know her as Ladyfly. I don't know if you checked her out, but she's got some set of pipes on her.
Yeah, she's got a set of pipes on her, boy.
Very, very death metal-y kind of female-fronted stuff. And if you stay tuned, we'll go ahead and get her on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Meet my partner, Chris. Chris, you here?
I'll turn my video on.
Sometimes I don't have videos, so my bandwidth is terrible here.
Sometimes we do videos. Sometimes we do
Nice
videos,
to meet
sometimes we don't.
Thanks for joining us. How you doing over there?
I'm fine. Just waiting for the interview, so
Yeah.
all is great.
How is it? Are you guys in quarantine over there?
Yes, here is quarantine, and many people are at home, as everyone in the world.
Yeah.
Can I
Guys
get
like
you?
that everywhere.
Is it possible for you to turn your mic up a little bit?
You mean you do not hear well? Yes.
Yeah, it's very quiet.
Yes. Okay.
That's
I
much
now
better.
first will make like this. And how now?
Much better.
How this? Yes. Okay.
That's great.
That's great. Okay.
So, thank you for joining us. I'll go ahead and jump in. How long have you been in this? Well, let's start this way. There's not too many death metal or heavy metal females that have a voice kind of like yours. I mean, I was thinking of Arcona, something sort of like that. But how long have you been doing this, and how did you get started?
I want to tell you that thank you for this interview and question and your time for me. So I really appreciate this. And if talking about me, I make vocals a long time from my childhood, but then I do not devote a lot of time for this. So it was maybe from 8 years old. But then about the last 10 years, I do it all my time, I think, in bands. So, and I really like vocals and brutal music. And of course, yes,
That's
and I like a lot of bands.
such a kind way to say it. I really like vocals and brutal music.
And brutal music.
I'm gonna have to remember that phrase.
Do you have any kind of training, or are you self-taught?
I had a trainer, but it was maybe a month or 2 months, so not a long time, because I can't find someone who really like this kind of music, and it was also some kind of classical voice, like academical vocals. So not so much that I like, and I just listen to my favorite bands and just trying to do something like this. And so I'm like teacher for myself.
All right,
yes.
you said it, so I'll ask. I usually don't ask, but who are some of your favorite bands then?
Yes, I have a lot of favorite bands, but the most I like Children of Bodom, because from them began my music part. So they are my favorite, and also, of course, this is Corey Taylor. I also like him so much, and I like Drowning Pool, and they also influenced me a lot.
Right.
When I was in the school, so very many years ago. A lot. Yes.
So
You know that
I don't know much about Ukraine at all. That's where you are, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know nothing about Ukraine.
I know nothing about it other than it's massive. I know it's a big country. That's all I know.
And cold.
Well, it's not cold. It's got beautiful warm parts, I think.
Maybe it's a big country, but about 40, 50. or 40 million people, not so much.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's like in Los Angeles.
Okay, so how did you get into metal in Ukraine? I don't know if metal's big in Ukraine. I don't know anything about it.
Yes, metal is big in Ukraine, but this is not so popular because of on TV or some shows you never see metal bands, and so it's very pity because I know a lot of musicians in metal music and some rock music, but it's not popular here, and only pop music is popular.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately
so
here too.
yes, and it is very, very yes.
I will
So
tell you,
it's
Chris, did you see
underground.
she didn't mention Gojira at all? There was no mention of Gojira as a favorite band.
Well, they obviously are one of her favorite bands. Do you like Gojira?
Yes, of course.
Yes,
no.
yes.
Yes, I like Gojira, and I know about them about 5 last years, something like this.
Yeah.
So a lot. Yes, they are great, really, and I like them.
See, Bruce, I'm always right. Bruce and I always have this fight. He doesn't like Gojira. I love him.
Really, I like many metal bands because this is always great to see them on shows. Also, I like to attend metal shows. It's really great, and I appreciate musicians because I know how hard their way is. So it's very hard. So I really appreciate them, no matter what style. But I know this is not pop music, so it's great. Maybe even rap music or something else. I just know that this is really very hard for musicians.
Yes.
So what are you
Especially
working on
now.
What are you working on these days?
These days I am trying to find some musicians for collaboration. Yes, and trying to find a serious metal band because yes, of course, here there are many musicians and many metal musicians, but not all of them are serious. So it's really hard because a lot of have some issues with work or with family, and they can't travel or do it more serious or to do it a lot of time in life. So, but I want to do it always, and so this is hard for me to find someone with whom I can do it. Yes, of course, I have some guitar player who is serious or some bass player who is serious, but each of them want to make only my music. So all musicians have to play my music because it's my project. But yeah, so it's a very, very big problem here. But why we can collaborate and create something to move together? So it's really a problem because everyone screaming, "It's me, my music. Let's play my."
Right,
so a lot of alone people, only one musician. So
do you think that's a problem that comes from the fact that people can just write so easily in their bedroom these days and come out with like a fairly good sounding product?
You ask if it's better why people
No,
are
do
staying.
you think it's hard to find more collaborators these days because people can write in their bedroom and complete a song on their own?
Yes, I think that's because of selfishness. I just think so. Because, yes, of course, every person has a lot of views on music and a lot of ideas. But this is a problem to collaborate with other musicians and respect them too. So I think that in the past it was more easy. I think yes, of course, it was not so. It wasn't so many bands, but I think that relationship between people were much better than now. I think, and now we have a lot of technologies, and really there are a lot of one-man band, and I know personally a few person in this direction. So they write drums and guitar, bass, vocals, and I know even that the people who do not want to take some vocals or some guitar player, and he do everything himself and learn to play guitar, learn playing bass, and learn how to sing. And in the end, I do not know if it's great music. Yes, of course, there are a lot of talented people, but sometimes I think that when person do it all his life, so maybe you just can invite the person for singing or just guitar playing. So it's a problem.
Okay, I have a random question. Here's a random question. Bruce always loves me when I ask random questions. So throughout Europe, a lot of people speak English and another language. Is it the same in Ukraine? Because I just don't know. I've never been there. I don't know much about it.
I think that in the capital there are a lot of people that understand English, but in more small towns, in small cities, it's not so often. Many people do not know English well, and also older generation, they do not know English at all because some of them learned German in school, and so.
Oh, really?
Well,
yes,
that's cool. No, I've worked with quite a few people from that area of the world when I lived in Canada, and your English is like miles ahead of where they were, even after they lived in Canada for like 2 or 3 years. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
But my English is not so perfect because of lack of practice. But I try, yes, to say everything that I think.
Yeah, no, it's quite good. You know, I was just like, man, it seems like, because we interview a lot of bands from Eastern Europe as well, and they all speak multiple languages and English and whatever else they speak. So I always kind of notice. So that's why I'm asking.
Then he come to the United States, and the dumbasses can barely speak English.
I come here and they're all like, "Yo, I like some fried chicken, please. Can I get that with some huckleberry pie?"
So Tanya, everybody has a moment where they bought their first album and it turned them on to heavy metal or to hard rock. What was your first album you bought that changed your life?
What is my first band that changed my life? It was Children of Bodom, and I was then 14 years old in school, or 13 or 14, I don't remember exactly, because I had 2 classmates who listened to metal music. So Children of Bodom, it was my, if I remember correct, because he gave me a lot of different cassettes
Sure.
At that time. Yes, and I think it was Children of Bodom, and then I didn't know what is this. I just listened to this. How he can sing like this? What is music this? So, and I was really inspired in this, and it influenced me a lot. And the other direction, it was like Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, and Drowning Pool. So it was like other direction from my other classmate.
Gotcha. I just read somewhere that they broke up, right? Is Alexei doing something different now?
Who make different?
I think Children of Bodom broke up, right?
Yes. They have some problems in the band. So, like, I think many bands who collaborate a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, yes, they have some problems. But I really hope that everything will be great, because Alexei Laiha is really talented. And I do not really know what happened to them, but I hope that I will see them one more time on live show, because I was there once and it's really great.
Yeah, I got a chance to see them on 70,000 Tons of Metal and actually interview Alexei a couple years back, and really nice guy, and they were really good live.
Yes, and really talented, and I know his history, and he really deserves a lot of respect. Yes.
Chris?
I don't have any more questions. I really appreciate you taking the time for us today.
Okay, thank you so much, and I really was really glad to talk to you, and thank you for your time also.
Hey, no problem. But if people are at home listening, one of our 3 listeners, if anybody, if anybody's at home listening and they want to collaborate with you, they can, right? Because they can get a hold of you via internet, and maybe you can work something out, right?
Yes, of course. I am open-minded person, but first of all, of course, for me, why I do not collaborate with many musicians, it's not because I can't do this, but because I want to find a band who would like make tours or shows. This is really the problem.
Maybe one of our 3 listeners will be those people that want to go on tour.
So,
go ahead, Chris.
How do people find you?
They can find me on my Facebook, on my social networks, in my Instagram. So
how do you spell it?
They just must write Ladyfly. So it's very easy, and they will find my posts, my photos there, and they can follow my group there. I have my personal page, and also I created not so long ago my group, because I was like forced to do this, to find someone serious.
Right.
Yes, so I try to develop my group, and so they can find me.
When you make it big, remember at least 15% goes to us because we got you started here.
we're usually the rabbit's foot. So like we sometimes we interview a band or someone that's coming up and they haven't really done much. And then after us, that's when they go on to do great things.
We're the lucky charm.
We're the lucky charm. So
it's really great. So I'm very lucky, yes, and I really appreciate this. And of course, I hope that next time I can tell you more about my music or collaborations with bands. So I really hope that I will be lucky, because really, music, this is my life. And I want to do this very serious, and I also have a lot of sacrifices for music. So yes, if there are some musicians in the world who also looking for vocals, metal voice for their band, so I'm really ready. If they are ready for touring and for shows, then I am ready too, because I do not want rehearsals in some underground. So it's not really interesting, because a lot of years passed for this, and I really want shows, and I have a lot of experience in shows. So awesome. I'm waiting for some news also.
Well, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it.